Hello.
Hello, hello.
Season's
Welcome
greetings.
to Awkward Aquarians with you.
We're
Good
we're
morning, good morning. Yes, we're in Christmas sweaters today. Gonna
ugly
listen
Christmas sweaters.
because when we're recording this, it's actually December 1st, so
Yeah,
beginning of holiday
it's
season.
beginning
It's
to
the
look a lot
holiday
like
season.
Christmas
Oh
everywhere
my god, my
you
favorite time of
go.
year. Like October and then the holiday season
Same
are
here.
favorite times
Yeah,
of
I
year.
just I could do October all the way till mid-November and then Christmas from mid-November all the way through December.
I like saying October, oh my god, I just everything about it. It's like the start of fall, Halloween, and then November, I love Thanksgiving, because I love like food. So
Turkey, mashed
turkey.
potatoes.
Oh my god, those giant pies from Costco. Like, ugh,
Ooh.
yes, please. Um, so and then December, Christmas. So it's like those 3 months are just my happy place. And then it's our birthdays in
I
January. So
know. Oh,
4 months.
Aquarius, Aquarius. Harmony and understanding.
Sympathy and trust the bond. Uh, yeah. So I think we're delaying talking about this episode because it's not one of our favorites.
We don't like this episode.
No, it's season 1 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, episode 6, The Pack. God, what to say about this episode? It's a Xander centric episode. And those aren't my favorite, I find. Actually, you
Hmm.
know, a lot of like the ones that are like not side characters, because it's more of like an ensemble main character thing. But like the Xander centric ones, the Willow centric ones, and even the Giles centric ones are not my favorite episodes. For whatever
Gotta
reason.
have Buffy and it's gotta have Angel, and then it will get all the bloody stakes.
Yeah, and this one there's no Angel either, so that just adds to the whole
Hmm.
disappointment. And honestly, that even like when I think back to this episode, Angel doesn't even enter my mind, which shows how much I really didn't like this episode. If I don't even think about
Hmm.
him when I'm thinking about this, I'm like, ooh, I really didn't like that episode. But yeah, so let's get into
Yeah.
it. Let's just
Yeah.
do it. Um, Starts where they're at the zoo, all of them. It's like a class field trip, and Buffy's all like bummed about being at the zoo, or she's not happy about it. And I'm like, Buffy, it's a field trip. You're at the zoo. Like, be happy. Yeah, like, come on, girl. And she's
Oh,
like, oh,
wow.
we did this like every year at my old school, same old, same old. And then Xander and Will are like, you have to look at it as like you're getting out of class. Not that this is the same, but you're getting out of class. And then
Mhm.
she's like, oh, you're right, it's shiny and new. One thing I thought was funny was, Xander and Willow were off looking at something, and Buffy was off looking at something by herself. And then when they meet up at the zoo, Xander and Willow were like, "Oh, Buffy, you missed the zebras mating or whatever." And I thought they were gonna say tortoises mating, because every time I've ever been to the zoo, I've seen the giant tortoises mating. I don't know if I've ever gone and they have not been like getting down with it. It's like old, slow
Uh-huh.
creatures. I know, so randy apparently, but no, it was zebras. I'm like, oh, I
Brandy
can't relate.
tortoises.
Yeah. um but yeah, so they meet up. Oh, Buffy got like kind of bullied by these like group of just like bad kids, I guess you'd call them, like the stereotypical bad kids. And then they were making fun of this other nerdy boy, and they kind of like tricked him into going to this hyena area with them. And Xander saw it and went to stop him, which I thought was really nice of Xander. Like, it was a good Xander moment. He's like, oh, I'll take care of
Mhm.
this. And Buffy and Willow, after a while, were like, "Oh, we should go help. Like, Xander's can't handle this by himself." So they go to go help,
Buffy's a
and
slayer. I mean, she should
I
have
know,
decided.
yeah, I was like, you should have gone with him to begin with. Like, I get that, you want to like sort of being like self-sufficient and take care of it, but you just be the backup. You're the slayer.
Yeah.
And the zookeeper comes out and stops Buffy and Willow from going, and he's like, no, these hyenas are in quarantine, and you should never like look them in the eye. Just really weird dude. Um, so stops them, and then Xander and the group of bad kids all, I guess, stare at these hyenas, and they're like
Get like
demon.
possessed by their spirits or
Yeah, like
something.
this like demon spirit goes into them or something. I don't. It was like a little unclear what was happening, but they're all possessed, and
Mhm.
turns Xander into a total a-hole, just like total a-hole. He's like being weird and rude, and all of a sudden hanging out with these guys. Um, and he insults Willow pretty hard. Like she's kind of asked him what's going on with you, and he just basically like says like, I could never like you. What makes you think I could ever be with someone like you? You know, get over your crush. Pretty rough.
Which does tell
And
you that Xander does deep down know that,
oh
you
yeah,
know.
you know that he knows that Willow likes him as more than just a friend. Um, and I guess I would say I think he handles it well. Like he doesn't really lead her on, which I like. But at the same time, it's like then you should understand that Buffy sees you as just a friend, you
Yeah.
know. And I don't think he really. I don't know. Xander's a interesting character in season 1 because he's still like funny and charming and treats Willow, I think, really well.
Mhm.
And not too pushy with Buffy. Um, although in this episode, he basically tries to assault her. Uh, just the weird. I was like so awkward to watch.
Yeah,
Awkward.
it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
seeing Xander be rapey is not a
This is
fun
not something
time.
you want to see. You're like, oh, I don't
Not a
like
good
this. And
episode.
also because like Buffy is kind of just like she's like, like she's I don't know if she's not fighting back on purpose or if these hyenas just have this like really super strength or something because it looks like he's getting the best of her for a bit, like holding her down and getting really close. I'm just like, Buffy, hit him the whole time. I'm like, hit
Uh-huh.
him, punch him. And you never actually see it. Like she knocks him out with a desk, but we don't see it. We just see her dragging him back to the library where they lock him in a cage. So
Mhm.
I'm like, I would have liked to have seen him get hit with a desk, honestly. Like, please whack him with the desk.
Yeah,
And
Game of
then
Thrones shows us everything, but, 80s,
yeah,
90s.
90s stuff. You're like, oh no, but they've shown her like be violent before, and it's like if you can show him kind of like pinning her down and tossing her around, you can show her,
Knocking
whacking
him
him out
out.
with a big old desk. Like that's all I want to see. Give me a little Xena
Mhm.
moment. Um, so that was that part, and then there was also the part with, and this is one of the reasons I think we hate this episode so much. Um, well, for many reasons, but this one was with the little piglet and how basically Xander and the pack, when they were possessed,
With that
they ate
part.
the school mascot, which is this tiny, cutest little piglet. And you're just
Yeah,
like,
and they go in the room and you're like, "No, they're not
I
gonna
know.
go
I was like,
there. They're
no.
not gonna
I was
do
like,
that." And then they
this
let you
isn't
hear the
happening.
sounds of the little squeaking.
Little squeals. And okay, like animal death is the literal top of the list for me of stuff that makes me turn stuff off. Like I
Uh-huh.
cannot handle animals dying, being hurt. Like I can
Yeah.
almost handle anything else, but an animal, no. Especially like a cute little piglet. I was like, oh no, they
Yeah,
did
for
not go
me,
there.
animals or little kids. When one of those gets hurt,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Sometimes
Like,
I
I
can
can't
handle
watch
little
Game of
kids.
Thrones 'cause
Like honestly, for me, kids are like sometimes, yeah, and sometimes I'm like, eh. It really depends. I mean, if
yeah,
we're
for
talking
me,
like,
any little kid gets hurt and I'm like, "I don't like this movie, I'm out."
yeah, that's not me. I mean, like the little kids in like the Star Wars where he like killed all the little Padawans. I was like, oh, this is
Yeah.
awful. But then like some movies, I'm like, it happens. But yeah,
I won't
animals are like,
stand for it. I won't stand for it. I
I
know,
can't
and
stand.
animals, like, I feel like a lot of people are that way, that are
Mhm.
just
I
like,
cannot
I
abide.
can't see a
I think.
dog die. I can see a bunch of people die, but I don't wanna
Mhm.
see a dog die.
I think because they're so like innocent and like dependent on
Yeah,
us, and then you're just like,
impure. Yeah.
um. And I remember when we were rewatching it, we actually like closed our ears, like turned away. I'm like, I'm not watching, I'm not watching,
Like,
I'm not watching, I'm not watching.
let this
Like
moment pass.
yeah, but still were able to hear some of the squeals, so that was
No.
horrifying. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that happened, and then after Xander was captured, the rest of the pack killed and ate Principal Flutie. So this is the end
Uh-huh.
for him. Bye bye, Principal Flutie.
After we get Quark, right?
What?
After we get Quark from Deep Space Nine.
Oh, Snyder, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was really I mean, I didn't really have any strong feelings one way or the other about Flutie, so I was like, oh, sorry, Flutie. But I liked Snyder. Like, I thought he was, like, horrible, but horrible in a funny way, you know?
Uh-huh.
So, I was kind of happy we got him. Yeah, so they eat Principal Flutie. And actually, eating Principal Flutie is when Giles was kind of, like, started to take Buffy seriously, because Buffy's like, there's something wrong with Xander. And Giles was like, it's just teenage boy stuff. And Buffy's like, no, like, he's really off. And once everyone like ate the principal, that's when they took it seriously.
It just takes one principal death for
Yeah, just one. But another thing I thought was kind of like interesting is that like Buffy was one of the only ones who thought there was something sort of magically wrong with Xander. Like even Willow didn't at first. Like Willow, after Xander basically insulted her and just like, you know, rode over her heart, like backed over with a bus. Then
beep,
Willow was
beep, beep.
yeah, Willow was kind of like, oh, you know, not blaming Buffy, but saying like the reason is because of Buffy, like because you know Xander likes Buffy so much, and she did it in a Willow way where it's like it's not your fault. It's just like he's changed because you know he doesn't look at me this way and he looks at you this way. And I don't know, like it just like I was like I just feel that maybe Willow should have been the one to really see that there was something really wrong with Xander, you know?
Yeah, because they've been friends since they were little kids. So
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah, it
And
should have been Willow. It
it
should have
should have
been
been
Willow.
Willow instead of just Buffy being the one like, no, there's something wrong. This isn't Xander. Um, yeah, I just feel like it should have been Willow. Um, I guess maybe like blinded by love, like she just likes him so much that him insulting her is just something.
Boo. Boo.
Yeah, and even then, she was like when she was first. Like Xander was first being mean to her, and she was like, "Is it something I've done?" I was like, "Willow, no! Like, stop!" Like, I know it's kind of on par with her character, especially season 1, where she's very innocent, naive, you know, but you want to be like, it's not your fault. Even if Xander was just being a jerk, nothing you did, it's not your fault, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I just didn't like that. And then capture Xander. The pack comes to rescue him. They go to the zookeeper. They find out these hyenas were, I don't know, like possessed hyenas that the like being jumped into them. So they find out what's going on, and the zookeeper says, "Oh, we'll help you. I'll help you. You know, take them out of your friends and put them back in the hyenas." And so they lead them all to the zoo. They're working with the zookeeper, and it's like the zookeeper basically is the bad guy and tries to get the hyena spirit to jump into him, and he does. He succeeds, but then he goes to kill Willow, who he had taken hostage. And that's another thing how to show how kind of like naive Willow is, because she lets him tie her up and like hold her with like a knife at her throat, and it's only in that moment she's like, oh wait a second, this doesn't, you know, you're the bad guy. Like, oh Willow, no. So I mean I can understand her trusting him to a point. Like I probably would too, like, okay, this guy's helping us, but like don't let him tie you up. Like come on. um
Boundaries, Willow. Boundaries.
I know she's so I kind of love that it's consistent. You know, it's not it's this first season Willow is just very like in the very first episode. when she goes with the vampire, who she didn't know was a vampire, she just thought it was a cute boy, and they were gonna go get ice cream, and he leads her like through this graveyard at night.
Oh
She's like, oh
yeah.
no, but the ice cream bar is this way, and he's like, he wasn't even being charming about it. He wasn't even being like, oh yeah, but I know this really cool shortcut. We can look at like old graves. No, he was like, there's a shortcut this way. Come on, you know, like
Yeah, and
Willow,
you're like,
like don't, and she goes,
really
and you're like,
shady.
oh.
Really sus, Willow.
Like, you're lucky you found Buffy, because you like in this town in Sunnydale, you'd be like destined to die.
Yeah.
um,
Or
I do like,
become Vampire Willow, like in that
yeah,
alternate
Vamp
reality.
Willow, probably, yeah. Ugh. But
Mm.
but I do like that it's consistent in season 1 that she's trusting, and she kind of like doesn't really trust her instincts yet all the way.
Mhm.
So I got that, and then once the hyenas jump into the zookeeper, then you know, Buffy and Xander save the day. Xander like pushes them into the cage, and the hyenas eat him. I didn't understand that either, because I don't know. Maybe I feel like after watching Charmed, I should never question like plot holes or just inconsistencies ever again in any show. Like,
I know.
I feel like anything compared to that is not that bad.
I
But
know.
I do feel like like these hyenas spirits jumped into 5 people, Xander and the 4 of them. And then it was like, so all of these spirits just jumped into the one guy? Like, is it
I thought
multiple
it was
spirits?
supposed to be a pack thing,
I
right?
thought it was
That's
a
what
pack
it's
thing. The
called, the
whole
pack.
the name of the episode. So yeah, I thought it was a pack, but then I guess they all jumped into him. Oh, I hit my mic. And
Convenience. Convenience.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, whatever, I'll accept it. But then when they threw him into the hyena cage, and the hyenas ate him, I'm like, but isn't he
It's
part
like,
of?
but weren't they possessing him?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
weren't these hyenas like demon hyenas or whatever they were? Like these hyena spirits? Why would they eat one of their own? Or I don't know. The whole thing was just. Like I said, after Charmed, I just kind of accept things, but we watched this before we watched Charmed, so I think that's why I was like, "What?"
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense to me. But yeah. So, and then afterwards, Xander's pretending like he doesn't remember anything. He doesn't remember insulting Willow. He doesn't remember eating a pig. He doesn't remember assaulting Buffy. Um,
Mhm.
and then Giles. And I did like this part. He's like, Xander, I've read the lore. Nowhere does it say that you don't remember, you lose your memory. And Xander's like, they don't know that, do they? So he steals all his memory. um, but did not tell them. So I
Okay.
liked that part. And I did like, there was the one part, that scene where they were playing volleyball, and
Mhm.
Xander and the pack were on like one team with a bunch of other kids in PE class, and Buffy and Willow were on the other side. And of course, Xander and the pack won because they're these possessed hyenas. They're like bam, bam, bamming everyone with the dodgeball, and Xander pummels Willow right in the face. Um, and then which I know hurts because that happened to me in dodgeball as well,
Uh-huh,
like right
uh-huh.
in the face. I was like,
Dodgeball
not
is
the
such a
face.
brutal. I mean, they don't do that anymore. It was such a brutal sport,
I
like,
know.
not even
I
a
kind of
sport, you were
loved it. I loved it.
hitting children, children
Well,
hitting
actually,
children.
I mean, we do still play it at like the schools I work at. Like we still play dodgeball.
It's not right. It's
And
not
the
right.
teachers
Children hitting
participate.
children.
I love it. It brings out my competitive spirit. Like I'm like, bam. But some of the kids hit hard. You have to be careful, and they think it's so funny. Like, they try to aim for spots on the body that should not be hit. Like,
Mhm.
children. But yeah, so he pummels Willow, and then it's just the pack and Buffy left. Like those are just the against each other. And instead of hitting Buffy, like all 5 of them, they could just like hit her. They actually turn to like one other teammate that's left on their team, a little nerdy boy from the beginning, and they all just start like wailing on him with their balls, and I thought it was kind of cool because it's like recognizing Buffy is like almost like a predator like them,
Apex
like up to
predator.
par with them. Yeah, like
Right.
they like respect power, you know. So they
Mhm.
instead they went and they basically took down the weak.
Yeah.
So I liked that scene. Like there was like one scene in the whole.
You're like, "Oh, I see. They are preying on
Yeah,
the weak."
yeah, preying on the weak. Um,
Mm.
yeah, so that's the one scene I liked. Other than that, this episode was not for me.
Yeah, it wasn't for me either.
No, I didn't like
I'm
the
trying to
piglet.
decide whether to give it 2 or 1 bloody steak.
No,
Maybe 1 because the pig death.
the pig death. Yeah, that's what I was gonna think
Yeah.
because I
And the
really,
rapiness. Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm like, was that necessary? Like, we could have just, I don't know, alluded to how much he liked her and wanted to be with her. We didn't need the actual attack. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know, and I think, because I was thinking, I don't really like the Willow episode this season with like the robot demon. Like, I think that one's kind
Oh,
of
yeah, that one's really lame.
that one's lame. See, but then I was like, okay, I just didn't like that episode just because it was just lame and it bored me. But this one
Mhm.
actually bothered me, you know.
It's actually
So
offensive.
yeah, I
Yeah.
actually thought things I did not want to watch. So this one's going lower than that one for sure for me. I did
Yeah.
not like the. I didn't like the well, pig thing. Number one, obviously, it's like top tier. Don't like. I didn't like the assault. I didn't, and I mean, I understand why it's in there, but I don't know. Like I said, I wish we just got to see Buffy wailing on him. Like if we got to
Uh-huh.
see that, it would probably be a little more tolerable. I didn't like Willow being so kind of like pushed to the back when it's a Xander thing and like Xander's like feelings and Xander changing. I think it should have been more Willow heavy, you know, like her the one like seeing something's wrong and like researching it and all that instead of Buffy. Um and yeah, just the I don't know, just the vibe of the episode kind of bored me. So
Mhm.
yeah. I'm gonna give it 1.5 steaks.
Ah, you are generous with your half steak.
I'm giving it
I'm
a half
giving it
just
1
because
1 bloody steak. Um,
one bloody steak. Oh, I
I
guess I
like
could.
the creativity of the idea,
Mhm.
the concept of, like, pack spirit, possessing a pack of kids and,
Yeah.
hyenas, and I mean, that's kinda cool, when I like fantasy stuff, so that's kind of a cool concept,
Yeah.
but, I didn't like the way it was executed, I guess. So I'll
Mhm.
give it 1 steak for cool concept and idea, but I didn't like the rest of it, so
Yeah,
this is
it
all
is
the
a cool
steaks for
concept.
you, Pat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool concept, yeah, executed poorly, and yeah, 1 bloody steak. I think 1 bloody steak 'cause I was thinking, if there's an episode I like less, I don't remember, and if I do, I can just give it 0. So yeah, like one bloody steak, and honestly, it only gets
Bloody
1
steak.
because of the, like, dodgeball scene for me.
You like the kids hitting kids.
I
I like the
did! I
idea
like
of the pack
I
possessing
did,
a
I like
pack of
that.
kids.
Yeah, it was, like, very I think it was the most sort of, like, nuanced way to show that they really were like a pack of hyenas, like these predators, and I I I enjoyed that. That
Then
was
you're
about
wearing the appropriate sweater.
yeah, Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park dinosaurs.
Hey, da-da-da-da.
Apex predator.
So, those are our thoughts on the pack. We actually had a lot to say about an episode we didn't like that much.
I know, I was looking at the time, I was like, "Oh,
I know, I was
time
like,
time
"Oh,
to
this is a
go."
lot." Like, I thought I would be like, "I hated it, move on." I really was
Mhm.
like, I hated it for reasons that I needed to talk about. Um, but next episode is the Angel episode.
Oh, one of our favorites.
You fill up my senses. So, yeah, I'm excited to talk about that one. Uh, Probably one of my favorite episodes of Buffy in general, I think, honestly.
Mhm. Yeah, me
Could have
too.
been, yeah. So,
Well,
yeah,
we will
next
talk about
time.
that next time.
Yes, next time. Might be a long chat too, because got a lot to say about that as well. Mostly just about Angel. Like, let's just talk about Angel.
Angel,
All right.
Angel,
So
won't
we
you be
will see
mine?
you next